you guys have a Meijer in your town, you have got to come to the book section, because I feel like this book section is actually better than like a million other bookstores that I've been to. I didn't even realize they had a book section here, but they have so many books that I feel like are hard to find at other bookstores. Like Children of Blood and Bone, I have not seen this literally in any bookstores, at least in my hometown. I know it's at a lot of larger bookstores, but I feel like my bookstore in my hometown is kind of limited with some of the books that they have, and they just have a lot of books that are really good. This is why I need to start going to different places to check out the book section. They also have an adult book section, and this has so many good books too. They have the Pumpkin Spice Cafe, which it looks like they put it in like the wrong spot. They have this Christmassy book. I haven't even seen this one, A Holly Jolly Ever After. Like everything here, these are books I have not even seen other places. Winter in Paradise by Elin Hildebrand. Like, I need to come here more often and shop for Christmas books, because I feel like the books here are just so unique, and this is why it's important to go to different bookstores. These two thrillers look really good. This one is about a woman who, like, everyone thinks she's blind, but she's not. I think she has like, she has something, a motion blindness, and she's not like fully blind, but she like really notices a lot of things. And I think her neighbor, it says she has a lot of anxiety, and she notices that, and then her neighbor and a visitor engage in a violent fight, and then the next day she blacks out in the morning, and wakes up with someone in her apartment, and then blacks out in the morning, is left wondering if she dreamed it all up. And then the other book is this one, Leave the Girls Behind. This one also looks really good. I love like twisty books, but this looks like more of a mystery than an actual thriller. So I feel like I'm gonna leave that one there. But you guys did say that this is a good book to read, and I've never read a Stephen King book before, so I'm thinking about getting this one. Again, I've never read any of his books before, so it's a little daunting to like jump into something of his, but you guys have all said that this is like a good start. Comment below if you've read any of Stephen King's books, and if you like them, let me know which one to start with. The problem, good problem and bad problem for my like pocketbook, or my card, is that there are books literally everywhere, like at the grocery store or just anywhere that you're shopping. Like this right here is the second book, and I read this first one. I really enjoyed it, and I have not read this one, but it's only $9.74 here. So now I'm like, okay, everything is such a good affordable price here. It's making me want to buy it whether I like need it or not. Like, I definitely need to come to Meijer more to look for books and stuff, because the prices here are incredible. I'm a big person who loves how the cover of a book looks, and this looks like a really good cover. Ghost Camera, I don't even know what it's about, but I just love books with like a good cover. They always pull me in. Lucy Score is an author who has so many books, and her covers make me want to buy every single one of her books, but I've literally read all 3 of these and wasn't obsessed with them. And I feel like I honestly just bought them because of the cover. I will say that this was my favorite out of all of them, but again, I just feel like they weren't really my vibe, but she does have really pretty covers that make me want to literally buy everything. I also love books that have really cool like pages. I feel like everything has like a special edition page now, and it's making me again want to buy everything. This book right here says it's the perfect summer read. It says she started it, and I'm not really the type of person who cares if something is like marketed as a summer read or like not a summer read. I will literally read it at any point in time, but I will say it depends on my mood. Like if I'm in the mood for like a thriller, like I'll read a thriller. If I'm in the mood for romance, I'll read a romance. But like if it says it's marketed for a certain season, that doesn't really bother me too much. But this is the perfect summer read. The Party of a Lifetime is nothing like what they expected, and I don't want to read the whole back, but it does look good so far from the one sentence I read. I own this book, and so many people have said it's good. I need to just read it, but you guys know how I am with thick books. Thick books literally scare me. Even like once I get into it and start to love it, like for some reason it's just so daunting. But I need to read it because everyone has said that this is such a great thriller. I picked up so many things when I was at the store, so I'm gonna give you guys a little grocery haul. I picked up 2 of these pots because since we've like changed what we've been eating, I have been running through pots, and it's because one, I have been cooking so much, like literally every meal pretty much 3 times a day, and it's like always something that needs to go in a pot for the most part, so I'm using pots like so much. So if you have any tips for how to like make your pots last a little bit longer, let me know, because I would love to hear them. I also picked up some apples. Honestly, I got a lot of like fruits and vegetables and stuff. I picked up some steak. I've been trying to get steak that is like over the counter versus like in the little containers, just because I found that it tastes different and I don't know, it cooks different. I also picked up some pears. I'm not like someone who eats a lot of pears like in my adulthood, but I love pears as a kid. So I've been trying to like, I don't know, eat more fruits and vegetables I don't normally gravitate towards. I also picked up some oranges. I got 2 bags of these because Brady pretty much eats 1 or 2 of those every single night. And then I also got some blueberries, some raspberries, some blackberries, and some strawberries. And then I also got these little containers. These will be for whenever I like make food and it goes into the fridge. But I got these, which I've been getting these for probably like 2 years. They're the Bento prep containers. I got those because I also prep our meals. So for breakfast and lunch, I put them into these containers that you can either rewash or you know, just like use them however you need to. The dishwasher's safe. And then I also picked up 2 cucumbers because these are great snacks. And I also got some flowers for myself. I'm planning on putting these into just like a little vase. The ones that I had in there were dead, so I needed to get a few more. And I love roses. White roses are actually my favorite, but if I had to choose a close second, I think I like red roses in this kitchen because it's like a white kitchen. So yeah, that's everything that I got. I didn't end up getting any books while I was there, just because I honestly was like, I have so many books here at home. Not that that's ever stopped me, honestly, but I just like wanted to just see what they had. I wasn't necessarily going book shopping. I was just going grocery shopping. I do want to go and organize my bookshelf because I feel like it's so stuffed right now that even the thought of new books is like, where would I put that on my shelves? So I want to organize my bookshelves, kind of get a few things together and take books to free little libraries, donate them and things like that, so that way I have a little bit more space. And also I feel like around the holiday season is a great time to donate to people and just like to be kind. So that's kind of what is on the docket for today. I don't know when we're gonna get to that, but I definitely need to put away these this little like grocery haul. I also have a book haul I'm gonna open with you guys probably a little bit later once I get the shelves maybe together, and I ordered it from online. It like just came in I think today, so I need to go open it and see what's inside of it because I've actually ordered a good amount of books, and you guys will see that in the video. I don't know if it'll already be up or if it's coming, but you guys will get like a book haul pretty soon. And I ordered a good amount, but I'm gonna open like one that came in so you guys can see one of the things that I got. Getting ready to go to the bookstore with my cousins, and we're gonna go to brunch. I have really been trying to wear outfits that make me feel like I'm 30 but also like give hot girl vibes, and I feel like this outfit is absolutely perfect. It's like the perfect blend of everything that I want, and I decided to come out and like read for a little bit before we went to like meet up. They are like the absolute best, and they've been on my channel before. So if you guys remember whenever I introduced them to reading like books by Black authors and Natasha Bishop and Kennedy Ryan, all the things, I will link the video below if you don't remember. But let me show you guys my outfit before we leave. This is literally one of my favorite places to read, and I try to come out here whenever it gets chilly because it's covered, which is nice. So like, I don't know, I feel like if it's rainy or something like that, it still gives cozy vibes. And they always have the Christmas decorations up, which is really, really cool. This is my outfit. I don't know if you guys can even really see it. I'm wearing the cutest boots. I wish I brought my like bigger tripod so you guys could fully see the outfit. Maybe I'll try to like sit you guys down somewhere so you can see the whole thing. I feel like this gives a better representation of the outfit, but it still doesn't fully give the vibes. I need to find somewhere a little bit taller that you guys can see. Okay, you can kind of see I walked out to my car. I wanted you guys to see the full outfit. It's so cute. And I love these boots. They're from Steve Madden, and I just feel like it's the perfect full outfit because it's kind of chilly, but most of my body is covered, which is nice. them back on.
To the little people, no, I'm just playing.
Your fans are missing
I'm
you.
feeling good. Hi, guys.
They've been missing you. They
We
want
had fun. We had mimosas, and I left with a latte. We had a good time.
Oh, I don't know. I prefer. Oh yeah. Right? Yeah, there are spots right out front, but I parked in a spot. I said like only an hour. This book right here is about a guy it's like an actual stuff.
Okay, hear me out.
Okay.
Have you watched You?
I didn't get any books when I was in Meyer or when I was with the girls the other day, but I do have a package I want to open with you guys, so I figured we could open this together. I also have all the books from my Amazon book haul that I have not put up, so we're gonna do that in a second and try to figure out how to just like puzzle piece them onto the shelf over there. This book is a thick one. This is Beasts of Prey by Ayana Gray. This is a fantasy and it's by a Black author. I shared in my Amazon video, like where I was getting books by authors that are like indie authors or whatever, how I haven't really gotten into fantasy that much. Like there were some that I've read and I'm like, oh, that's good. Like, but it's not something that I would gravitate towards over like another book, like a romance or something. But like with historical fiction and contemporary fiction, I've started getting into authors and books that I love so much that I would gravitate towards those sometimes, depending on my mood, over other books that I would typically read, like, or other genres that I'm like obsessed with. So I kind of want to find books in the fantasy genre that are like that, but I'm hoping that if I'm reading more books by Black authors in the fantasy realm, maybe I'll connect with the characters in a different way than like just the popular books that you see often. This was recommended to me by my friend Jo. She said that her friend from high school wrote this book, and on the back it literally says Rich and Powerful by the Oprah magazine. So I don't know if this is like something that's super popular or what, but I'm really excited to read this one. It says that, actually I don't even know what it's about, and I'm gonna be so honest, reading fantasy books on the back sometimes like bores me. And maybe that's a sign that like maybe I won't get into fantasy. But I think just, I don't know the world. So like in a world of da 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 with such and such and this and that. It's like, I don't know what anything means. Like I don't know what those words are. Like I don't know who those people are. Whereas if you're reading the back of a romance, it's like, Jack and Jill went here and they did this. And it's like, those are normal places to go and normal things to do. Whereas this is like, in a city of magic and splendor. Like, just tell me like what they're doing and where they're going. I don't need to know all this like extra stuff. So we'll see. It's about a warrior in training, it looks like. The girl Econ, Ekon, I don't know, has a task to stop Coffee in their attempt to flee the night zoo. Instead, she saves him from the Shatanai, the monster that's plagued La Casa. See, this is what I'm talking about. It's like just, she saved him from a monster in the town that she lives in. Like, that's all I need to know. You don't need to give me all this extra stuff. But she ends up saving him from this monster that's plagued their area for nearly a century. And yeah, the two strike a bargain to team up to capture the monster. And to do so, they have to enter the great jungle, a world steeped in a wild, frightening magic and untold danger. And once the hunt begins, it quickly becomes unclear whether they're the hunters or the hunted. And there's also a book 2, Beasts of Ruin. So we'll see how I feel about this. There's a map in the front, so you can see the La Casa and the greater jungle and like where they're at. Yeah, I'm not too optimistic. Not because I don't think the book's gonna be good, but it's because why do we have to add in all that extra stuff? Like, just say the town or the city or whatever. Like, I don't know. It just, I get very confused by fantasy. And you guys know I'm someone who also gets very easily like I need a story to be fast paced, and sometimes I feel like fantasy, like the world building loses me a bit. Like, I don't need to know all the intricacies of the jungle and the animals in the jungle, and like, I just don't need to know it. So this is gonna be interesting to get into, but I'm excited to read it. I also got another fantasy book. I shared this in my Amazon video, which you guys have probably already seen. I think it's already up, but I picked up Vicious Bonds, and this is by Shanora Williams, and it's a dark romantic fantasy. And Shanora Williams actually wrote Coach Me, which is a romance that I read. It was like a pretty spicy romance. So I feel like I might connect with this more because I've already read her writing, and like it was, you know, pretty fast paced. And I also love a romance. This is like a romantasy, and it seems like maybe it'll be heavy on the romance part. But then sometimes when I read romantasies, like I read Powerless, this is gonna sound like so weird, but like for someone who loves romance, I was like, where's the fantasy? Because I'm reading this book for a fantasy and I'm not reading it for romance. So like I'm expecting a fantasy and I'm not expecting heavy, like it to be heavy on the romance, because if I expected it to be heavy on the romance, I would just read a romance. So it definitely needs to be the perfect blend and balance between the two, because if it's too much romance, then I might as well just read a romance and not read a fantasy. And if it's not enough romance, I'm like, where's the romance? Like, the world building and stuff is too slow, like the fantasy is too much. So I don't know. I read Fourth Wing, and I feel like that was a really perfect balance for me of fantasy and like trials and stuff and romance. Also tons of dialogue, which was like great because there wasn't really a lot of world building, but I know some people who've read fantasy and like read it pretty typically like didn't really enjoy it because they're like there wasn't enough world building and they couldn't visualize the world. But for me, I get confused anyway. Like I read A Court of Thorns and Roses, and that book I could not visualize for the life of me. Like what, like you're half, what are you, half fairy? Like I just could not visualize it, and I had to go on Pinterest and look up like the characters so I could like even visualize that in my head. And maybe if I like watched more shows with like fantasy looking characters, I would have a better gauge of how to envision it. But I feel like because I watch Hallmark movies and I watch Disney movies and like cutesy little romances and like stuff like that, I'm not really like well versed in like fae and like what, you know, these characters could even potentially look like. So I had to look up on Pinterest to get some ideas. So hopefully I enjoyed these. I don't know, but I do want to get more into fantasy, and not even like, I don't even want to read like, you know, 10 fantasies a month or anything like that, but I want to give it a chance. I feel like I haven't given it a real true chance. Like I read Shatter Me, which is a young adult fantasy. I've read A Court of Thorns and Roses. I've also read Fourth Wing. And I read Their Vicious Games to me wasn't really fantasy. It's like more dystopian because they're like real, just regular people in a regular world with regular things, and they're doing like trials almost like the Squid Game. So like that doesn't really feel like fantasy to me. And it wasn't marketed as fantasy, it was marketed as young adult. I read Twilight, which again is like, they're basically regular people. Like they're all just going to a high school, like they just happen to be vampires, or not vampires, yeah, vampires. So that doesn't really feel like fantasy either. Like I wanna read a true fantasy and really become immersed in it, and I think the way to do that is by starting with authors that maybe aren't super hyped up, trying a romantasy. Oh, and I read Powerless, I forgot about that. And all those books were just kind of mid to me, like they were okay. Powerless just seemed like a ripoff of Hunger Games. Fourth Wing, I did rate that 4 stars. And I was like in line the day that the second book came out to like get it, and I ended up getting it and not reading it because I was just like, like I don't know, like the book itself was good. I did finish it in 24 hours. So there was nothing about it that made me not want to read it, but I think because I heard so many reviews that were like, this second book is that great, I just was like, I don't know. So we'll see if I can get immersed into fantasy this coming year. I definitely want to branch out, and this I think is going to be a great way to do it, especially with authors that I already have read before, because I like better understand their writing. I decided to come outside and start real. I've already read this book, but I'm just like starting the bonus epilogue part. I'm gonna finish it because it's only like 10 or 15 pages, but I always want to read Kennedy Ryan's like writing, anything that she writes. I will literally gobble it up. Like if she just has a freaking receipt, I will read it. But I already read this, loved it, so I knew I had to pick up the book with like the new cover. But I also brought out this coloring book because I thought it would be really fun to color out here. This is a book I recently got in one of my like videos. I think it was in my Amazon video, like my newest one. It's so cute. This girl doing all these cozy things, and I feel like it'll make me just enjoy this cozy season more. Thankfully it's like fairly warm today, so being out here isn't too bad, but I have my Artist Loft markers, and I also have this little tote. It's the best tote, I'll link it below, but it like keeps its shape, which is nice, so like taking things places isn't hard because like the bag doesn't like fall over or anything, and everything fits inside. If you like books with like a protective man, you will really like this, because Canon, I forgot how protective he is. Like in this book, he just wants to take care of Neva so like well. He literally treats her like a princess, and that is what I live for in books. Like when a guy, like the bonus epilogue, it starts out where she's like being interviewed after the production like is over, and if you just don't know, this book is so powerful. Like it has so many deeper themes, like about the Harlem Renaissance, because the movie that the main character is in, she is playing someone who's in the Harlem Renaissance, like in that era, and like, I don't know, it has so many deeper themes. But what I really love about this is it starts off, because obviously it's the bonus epilogue, so it's at the end, but the bonus epilogue starts off with Cannon being protective of her. Like she's had a long day of interviews, and he's like, all right, we're done, like we're wrapping it up, and she's like, no, like I'm fine, like I can do more, and he's like, no, like you're good, like and she's like, no, like I'm the star of the show, like I'm fine, and he's just so protective of her and loving, and I freaking love that. I also don't think I told you this, but if you guys listen to the audiobook of this, you'll hear my cousin. Like, my cousin, I think she goes by Nicole Small, but like I call her Shayna. Like I've just called her Shayna like my entire life. But yeah, she's like the voice, like she like sings and everything on the audiobook for this. And then I think she also did the Vanishing half or something. So yeah, fun fact, you'll hear her on this audiobook if you listen to it. I sometimes wonder how like actors and actresses go on after they finish a show. Like obviously this is a production and it's like a book or whatever, but I feel like it's definitely like happens obviously to people who are like actors and actresses. Like you have a story that you are like so passionate about telling, and then after it's over, it's just over. Like I just think about like the actors and actresses who've been like, I don't know, acting with each other for 8 to 10 years. Like the people who are in Friends or Girlfriends or Living Single, like all these like super prominent shows that are like iconic classic shows that obviously end. Like, do they just like have a connection with each other for life? Like what if they don't like someone on the cast and they have to work with them for like 8 years? Do they become like family actually, or do they all like secretly hate each other? I don't know. That's like a super random thing, but I started thinking about it when I got to page 446. So I've only gotten a few pages in of the bonus epilogue, but it literally was making me think of it because that's such an untold part of like being a part of a show. Like you guys know, actually maybe you don't know, like I used to be in theater. I was in Ragtime, the play. I was in High School Musical 1, High School Musical 2, and this wasn't like high school theater because obviously I like was homeschooled my whole life, but I would go to like summer theater, like at the Muni and stuff in our town, like outdoor theater, and loved it so much. But like you become a part of the cast, and I feel like once it's over, it's like so sad. But I can't even imagine people who've had to work together for years and years and years and have to like end something like that. I feel like it would feel like a breakup, like literally like a breakup, but really enjoying it so far. I am so glad she added this bonus epilogue because I forgot how much I loved this story, and I didn't want it to be over when I was reading it, so this is another way to like keep it going. A lot of the time I feel like epilogues or bonus epilogues like aren't really needed, but this one was. Like, it just wrapped up the story so perfectly. Like, I literally was smiling like as I was finishing it. Sorry, the birds, geese, whatever, they're just flying around back here in our backyard. But this is just so beautiful, and the ending of this I think made this story even better than I already thought it was. Wow, sorry, they're like all flying. Oh my god, let me show you guys. I don't know if you guys can see that. They're all like walking to the edge, and I think they're all about to fly away. You'll see them in a second. Come on, guys, take flight. They're all just flying whenever I was talking, and then they decided to just not. They're just standing there at the water's edge down there. Can you see them? There's so many of them. They're always in our backyard, just like hanging out. Honestly, I get a little afraid of them sometimes because they are a little like scary when I'm just sitting out here by myself. But let's see, are you guys gonna go or not? They're so close to jumping. There they go. There's one. Come on, guys, come on. Oh my gosh. Well, they're flying on this side. Those just hopped in the water. I don't know. We'll see if they do. I feel like they're just gonna sit for a while. But anyway, I feel like this was so needed, like this story. And she actually wrote in the back that this was the hardest book that she's ever written, which is wild because like she's written Long Shot, which is about like abuse, and she's written about like divorce, and she's written about like other deep topics and stories that like I don't want to share, you know, because I don't want to spoil anything. But this is a masterpiece, like just such an incredible story. And I think that the epilogue really wrapped it up perfectly. If you haven't read the story, please read it. If you have, definitely go pick up this, because the epilogue is like, it's something that I feel like was needed in the initial book. Like a lot of the time I'm like, okay, they're just like adding an epilogue just to like get a money grab. This felt like a well-rounded story with the epilogue, like it actually needed it. So yeah, so good. I'm going to sit here and read through the discussion questions and the forward, because I like skipped the forward and just like went into the story. So I'll finish that and then I'll do a little wrap up with you guys. I'm realizing that maybe there isn't a forward in this, but I'm looking at the front and looking at all the books that she's read. I've read Before I Let Go, This Could Be Us. Those are both 5-star reads for me. I have not read any of the books from the Bennett series, so that's definitely something I want to read soon. Oh, there they go. There they go. There they go. Wow. But I haven't read that, and then I haven't read any of the King's Men series, but I've heard that this is an incredible series and like one of her most underrated. Whenever I interviewed her, I asked her like which series that I think was most underrated, and she actually said this one. I've read Long Shot out of the Hoop series, and then I haven't read any of the Soul series, but I do have My Soul to Keep, so I'm excited to read that. And I've also read the rest of the series, and then I've also read Flow out of the Grip series. So I've pretty much read like the beginning of all the books in each series, except I need to read The Kingmaker and When You Are Mine, which, I mean, I have tons to go, and I love that I have so many options because she's an author who will never get old to me. I also love that she wrote a dedication to the stars who shone brightest in the dark. All of these black authors, or not black authors, these black artists and creatives, and just like different people that are so like well deserving of this dedication, like Nina Simone and Ella Fitzgerald, and I just think that that is like a really cool forward to have. And yeah, let me go back to the back because I still haven't read the discussion questions, but I had to show that to you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this fun little day, like Bookmas day. I'm always doing bookish things, so honestly these vlogs I feel like are so just like true to my typical day or couple days in my life, because there's never really a day goes by that I'm not reading or I'm not doing something bookish, organizing my bookshelves, like doing all the bookish stuff. There's gonna be more videos like this coming, and I have more fun bookish things than I always do. And I'm gonna add that more into the vlogs. I also feel like you guys enjoy just like the chats, and let me know if that is something that you do like. I feel like I am picking up on what you're putting down. Like you like the chatty vlogs, but again, I never really know unless you guys say that's what you like, but I'm kind of guessing because I feel like you guys are always like commenting back on things that I say, and those are like honestly my favorite things about these videos. Just being able to openly talk about my thoughts with books with you guys. Candy Ryan's books are incredible. I will never get over them. This was a 4-star read for me. It still stands at that. I wouldn't say that the epilogue totally changes the story and makes it like, you know, from a 4 to like a 5-star read, but still such an incredible, powerful read. I'm pretty sure I read this year, like if I remember correctly. So I didn't really need too much of a refresher, but it is definitely worth a read if you have not picked it up. It intertwines just so many different things within the story, and it feels like you're watching a movie when you read it. And all the characters feel very real too. So I hope you guys will pick it up. Even though it is she's a thick one, you'll read it really fast. It will be one of those where it won't feel like it's a very long read. I will say if you're going into this, you definitely need to know that it's like a slow burn. I feel that this is a true slow burn, and if you're someone who likes a slow burn, you will really like this one, because for me, a slow burn needs to be a long book. Like if you don't have a long book, it just is kind of like, okay, you waited until the end to like get the like love or physical connection, and like then the book's over. But this is so long, so like you get, I think it's like 300 and something pages before you really get into their like physical aspect of their like connection, and you don't even really get like much of a relationship for most of the book, because obviously it's like a forbidden love story. There's just so much in this story that I love, and things that I don't want to share because I don't want to spoil anything, but it is an incredible read and I feel like you will really love it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Come back tomorrow for another day of Bookmas, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.